Okay, my name is Ewa Rudnicka, and I'm going to present this talk also on behalf of a joint work, the collaboration of CLARIN-PL team and the partners from the SOFAIR project. The goal is to present a gold standard multidisciplinary dataset of scientific papers annotated with software mentions. The dataset was built by our CLARIN-PL Wrocław University of Science and Technology team and the partners from the SOFAIR project, the Open University UK, INRIA France, and the Institute of Literary Studies from Poznań, Poland. So first, a few words about the SOFAIR project. You can see the title. It's about making software fair, a machine-assisted workflow for the research software lifecycle. You can read more about the project on the project webpage, sofair.org. So this is the basic idea of the project, to create a software lifecycle. And our cooperation comes in this first bullet point, identification of software mentions in research manuscripts. Then the idea is basically to treat software similarly as we are used to treating data and tools, so to make them fair, to make them findable, accessible, and so on. And the project builds on the earlier project, the SoftSide project, which you can find on the GitHub page, which was also set to improve the visibility of research software, produce dataset software, and papers. So the SOFAIR project aims basically to extend the SoftSide project. So foster the usability of research software by supporting the proper documentation, citation, and discoverability, build new datasets as the one we've built, expand software, and create an effective research software lifecycle, as you could see the previous slide. Because we focus on the dataset here, I present the statistics for the original state-of-the-art SoftSide dataset. So this is from their GitHub page. So you see that in terms of domains, it's only it's half in life sciences, half economics, and in the latest version, it's about 5,000 documents and 500 software mentions annotated. So because the SOFAIR project builds on that SoftSide project results, a new dataset was needed that would be more varied in terms of the disciplines covered, and more up-to-date, because many papers from the original SoftSide dataset were already 10 years old. Where our team was chosen for our experience, expertise in building handcrafted resources, and also because our earlier successful collaboration with one of the partners. So here you have the entire workflow of building that new dataset. So the first step was corpus collection from the core database from across 18 discrete disciplines. Next, automatic pre-annotation with the use of the SoftSide software mentions recognizer tool. Next, manual selection of text for the purposes of the actual manual annotation. Then the adaptation of our custom designed Inforex annotation tool. And last step, the manual annotation in itself. So now every step in more detail. Corpus collection was done by the partners from the Open University UK. So we have 18 scientific disciplines from such broad domains as natural sciences, social sciences, business and management, and digital humanities. One of the very important requirements was the open access, because we wanted our dataset to be also on the open access, so either public domain, CCO, or CC BY license. PDF versions of texts available with usable text layers, so that TEI XML document could be produced from the PDF using the Grobit tool, and language of publications English, 3 to 15 pages long, to support manual annotation. Next step, we have that automatic pre-annotation with that SoftSite tool. 4 types of text, so software in the sense of software name, software version, URL, and creator. And the output of that automatic pre-annotation was the PDF-based XML TI files with the predicted annotations. In the next step, our team selected 500 documents from the provided 3,500. We aimed at a representative sample of disciplines, rather for shorter texts, and also we included some blank prompt-free texts in the sample. We had to adopt our Inforex tool. It supports the basic TEI format, but for the purposes of interpreting and visualizing those pre-annotations, a special script had to be written, and then also a script to export the data. This is the print screen from the SOFAIR page. So challenges of human annotation. There are many. One of them was the very definition of software. So first, we had to learn the original SoftSite guidelines, because we wanted those both data sets to be comparable, because originally the SOFAIR team working on the extension of that extraction tools used the SoftSite dataset. So that's why, since they were going to use our new dataset, we had to comply with the earlier guidelines. Annotators read, so we had that, we wanted gold standard, so we had that 2+1 model, two independent annotators, one super annotator. Each annotator read all the texts, verified automatic pre-annotations, and tried to, basically annotate every possible mention and assign a type. We had more, we were working on the extended SoftSite guidelines, so we had 10 types, which I will show in a moment. And also in some cases, there were, okay, thanks. It was possible to also establish a relation between a pair of software mentions, like for instance, between software name and its URL or its version. So in such cases, that relation was also added, while such relations weren't suggested, so they were not in that automatic pre-annotation system. So this is the print screen from our Inforex annotation tool, and you see all the software mention annotation types on the left in those colors, and the text yeah, the text is on the left, sorry, and the types are on the right. And that's how our annotators work. They can pick a type out of this set and mark it in the text. Now, the SOFAIR dataset in numbers, we had 10 number of iterations. So iterations of annotation, right? For first, we started with selecting text of, say, of one discipline, but then when our annotators got more experienced, they were annotating more text in one iteration and more varied in terms of disciplines. We had 18 disciplines. The average number of software mentions per document was 18.2. The average number documents per discipline 28. We had 73, the percentage of inter-annotator agreement. Although I need to stress that the types from this is okay. That's the general inter-annotator agreement. Okay, then the number of annotated documents, it's about 500, and within those 500 documents, we managed to find 9,001, about 200 number of annotations, and the most popular one was the one with software, about 5,000, and also 2,200 relations created between annotated mentions. Now, the dataset is available at the SOFAIR GitHub page. It's also planned to be available in our CLARIN-PL DSpace repository, while our Inforex annotation tool can be accessed via our CLARIN-PL webpage. So you have the addresses given for the description, for the project instance, and the code. You need to, to make more use of the tool, you need to register with us, and then you get like full access. Now, the dataset is, in the first place, is used in the SOFAIR project as a training testing data for software mention recognition and classification tools such as the software mentions recognizer. Actually, the extension of that recognizer created within the SOFAIR project. It also has the potential to be used in other related projects such as Lumen and Graphia that are broadly related to operas. In Lumen, it's for creating software catalogs. Graphia is focused on graphs. Thanks. And it's CIROS, so the project for strategic collaboration for interdisciplinary research on open science in the SSH. So that work was supported by the SOFAIR project, and also by our CLARIN-PL projects. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for the presentation. I had a question about the metadata because indeed you suggest that defining software is very complex, right? It can be a piece of code, a very complicated, interconnected piece of software. So I am curious about what metadata, what standard were you using to classify the softwares, and whether you have any insights into the analysis of the results, right? What especially when it comes to the humanities, what types of systems are there? What type of codes are there? What languages people use? How much can you delve into the analysis of the data that you are producing? Thank you.
Well, frankly speaking, I'm not quite sure if I fully understood the question. Of course, it's difficult and it was one of the main challenges that we have different disciplines. So so the texts are obviously, these are scientific articles, so they are very discipline specific. And our annotators were linguists, and and they are not even computer scientists. They are linguists, experienced linguists working in our team or who had been working with us for long. Well, we got that soft side guidelines where we had examples for those types, right? But still, we need to refine those guidelines in the process of annotating. For instance, sometimes, it wasn't quite clear what we are supposed to understand as software, because sometimes, for instance, data sets were used as software, like PubMed, or tools like Scopus, right? Sometimes even that tag, that type, the annotation type, could for the same for the same object, could differ within disciplines. So it was like the interpretation was different in the context of one discipline and another. So, that's what. I'm not sure I answered your question. Maybe we can talk during the break. But
Hello. Hello, thanks for the talk and the interesting initiative. I was just wondering, I discovered recently that there are journals actually where you can make publication, software-oriented publication about your software. And one of them, for example, is a journal of open source software. And they have a lot of them. Like, does your dataset somehow overlap with... Are you aware of those journals? Have you considered them as a source of information exactly for the metadata and the
Yeah.
taxonomy that was discussed before?
Okay, so thanks for that question. So this is, well, this is actually not a question. This is a very important comment, but not really. Maybe I'm not the best addressee, because I'm not in the software project myself, right? I represent CLARIN-PL, and we are just a subcontractor to that project on that very limited task. But I think that your idea is very important to the colleagues from the SOFAIR project, and I will pass it to them, right? So I know that so far they were collecting those documents from that core database, but definitely such resources, as you mentioned, should be included, should be very useful, right?
I think so, yes.